Hi everyone, I am Dr. Thomas and I am an optometrist. This is Victory, she's a student nurse, and behind the camera is Elegant, helping us to cover this short educational piece. So I'm going to actually do a short video on retinoscopy. So it's going to be a combination of both retinoscopy and phoropter. I actually believe that the fastest way for you to do your retinoscopy is using the phoropter because it's easier, it's less cumbersome. I do not have to be struggling with my trial lens frame and as well lenses from my trial lens box. So I just click in and I neutralize, and as fast as it can be. So in this method of retinoscopy, I'm going to be using the two-sphere method. And my walking distance is, I'm going to be using plus 150 walking distance. And this is a strict retinoscope, so I'm going to be using a strict retinoscope. Then I also have to explain the fact that some factors that have to be actually put in place in order to help with the accuracy of our work is to ensure that at all time in this testing procedure that your patient is looking at the distant visual acuity chart, which is programmed to reflect 6 meters, which is our optical infinity. And also, the illumination of the room has to be dim. Why does it have to be dim? Because we want the eye to maintain its physiological mydriatic state. That is, the pupil should be a kind of just mid-dilated physiologically, so as to be able to view the streak reflex, from the pupil. And you see, if the room is bright, definitely we know that brightness or bright light actually stimulates meiosis, and meiosis to actually contribute to or could make the patient accommodate. Yeah, because when I say meiosis and accommodation, they actually go hand in glove, because we know about the near triads, which is convergence, accommodation, and meiosis. So we want to totally knock out the ability to become meiotic by creating a very dim illumination. So now I'm going to immediately kickstart by viewing my reflex and neutralizing my reflexes. We also have to understand that once I see a weak movement, I'm going to be clicking in plus lenses until that reflex is neutralized. And when I see an against reflex, I'm going to be using minus lenses until that reflex is neutralized. Now, I also want to explain the fact that if I want to neutralize my horizontal meridian, my streak is going to be vertical and my movement is going to be horizontal. That is, I'm trying to neutralize the horizontal meridian. So I'm going to, and if I want to neutralize the vertical meridian, my streak is going to be horizontal and my movement is going to be vertical. So this is very important when it has to do with resolving to get to a net or gross retinoscopic finding. So right now, I'm going to go straight into neutralizing the reflexes. I'm going to be seeing in the eyes of my patient. I've already done ophthalmoscopy and I have the impression that the media is very much clear. And the fundal background, the vitreous, the aqueous, the lens is so clear. So the next thing for me is to approach to do my retinoscopy to evaluate the amount of refractive error in our patient. So now I'm going to start. Okay, sometimes you have to adjust the head of the patient so I can be able to actually view the reflex. So I'm seeing a weak reflex. Now I'm going to be adding plus lenses until there is no movement, until neutrality is attained or is achieved. So now I'm at my neutral point, right? So you have to be very careful not to over plus or over minus or under plus your patient. Just make sure the power that gave you that neutral reflex, you stop there. So now you note the power, I've attained neutrality. So this is plus 150. Plus 150 is what actually neutralized my horizontal meridian. So I'm going to note it in my head or somewhere, note it with a pen, right? Because the faintest ink is actually better than the sharpest brain, so as not to forget. Now, I'm going to actually go forward by neutralizing my vertical meridian. So I switch the orientation of my streak into horizontal, and my movement is going to be vertical this time around. So, okay, so it's an against movement. So I'm going to be adding minus lenses. Please look at the HP, please. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay. Okay, I'm okay like this. I've neutralized the vertical meridian. So I will note the power that neutralized it for me here. It's actually +1. So it's obvious it's +1. So I'm going to shift to the left eye because I'm just done with the right eye. So I will shift like this and then switch my retinoscope to my left hand, right? So left hand to left eye. Left hand to left eye. So I'm going to start scoping. Please look at the chart over there, please. So it's a weak movement. I'm going to add my close lenses until it is neutralized. So it's neutralized. I'm okay like this. So we're going to note the power that neutralizes for me, which is +0.75, right? So it's noted. Now I switch the orientation of my streak into vertical. I switch the orientation of my streak into vertical. Look at the HP, please. No, look at the HP. Okay, please come. So something really happened, okay? So I think the initial +0.75 was actually wrong because when I scoped again, I could still see a weak movement. So I believe our patient was not fixating at our distant target. That was what led to this error. That is why all through this procedure retinoscopy, you become observant and learn a lot because the learning actually continues in progress. So it's actually +150, not +0.75, right? So I'm going to now switch over and neutralize the horizontal, the vertical meridian by switching the orientation of my streak into horizontal, and my movement is going to be vertical. Please look at the distant chart, please. Okay, so it's an against movement. I'm going to be adding minus lenses, please. I'm going to add minus lenses until it is neutralized. Okay, so I think I'm okay like this. Okay, so please come and capture this. So it's neutralized, +1, right? +1. Okay. Okay, so it's very obvious. During my retinoscopy, we could understand that the same amount of power